Hey guys, welcome back. So FedEx just drove off and they gave me two boxes from Vevor. And in case you can't already tell from the shape of the boxes and the description of this video, you probably already know what's in the boxes. But if you stick around, we're going to open them up. Okay, so opening up that big box, this is what it was. This is the table legs for the Vevor industrial sewing machine, and it's the model 5,000 stitches per minute, 550-watt servo motor, digital control on the front of the machine, and this is the table that comes with it. It's a weird tan color. I know you can't tell here in the light, but it's not white like these two. It's kind of a beigey, creamy tan. But anyway, that's okay. It kind of matches the table. So if you've watched any of the videos about building these legs, it is all true. This is the only documentation that comes with it, and it does list your inventory of parts, and then it starts right here with just some basic instructions, and continues on the back side. And it doesn't really go step by step, but if you follow along, you can figure it out. It's pretty intuitive. Um, if you've ever built a piece of IKEA furniture, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But what I would do most definitely is pull out all your parts, lay them out on a table like I have done, or lay them on the floor. But put them down in a way that makes sense. And it's really going to help you build this sewing machine. And once we get this, the legs built, then we'll open up this box, which includes the head unit in there, and we'll get this thing rocking and rolling. But I'm not going to make a video that is 30 minutes long on just building the legs. There are several videos out there that do a good job of that. I'm just going to go ahead and build it, and I may show you a couple of things throughout the video. But if anything unordinary pops up, or something that I think that you might find useful when you build yours, of course I will stop and talk about that. But so I'm going to go ahead and get building on this. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to tell you, if you go ahead and look in this drawer after you get it unwrapped, there'll be a little bag like this, and it'll have all this hardware. Go ahead and separate them out, because in the instructions, see, like it says when you're putting this together, it's going to tell you what screws and nuts to use. And leg connector ×2, well, you look on here and you find your leg connector. And like there were 6 of these little screws. Well, I knew right away that those go in these 6 holes that hold your drawer on. So I just go ahead and put them in there. And you'll need a number, a 10 millimeter and a 14 millimeter wrench, or you can use sockets. I'm choosing to use the impact just to make things faster. But if you look on the back of these, there's also a Phillips head. So you'll need either a number 2 or a number 3 Phillips screwdriver if you want to fasten them like that. Now, when it comes to assembling the legs, See, like this piece right here has a cutout. This piece has a little raised section. So the placement of them and these holes right here, I don't know if you can see in there, uh, they have a captured nut in there. So there's really everything's pretty intuitive, and it's going to go together very easily. The only thing that you may pause on is when you put these in, they are adjustable. You'll have one screw on this side and two in the back and two in the front, and that adjusts the height of your table for you taller folks, so that you can get your legs under the table. But other than that, if you separate everything out, look at your instructions, start on number one, do what it says, and it tells you what parts to use, and then just look at them and put them together. It's not really that hard. The only thing that I've found that's not, well, it's covered in here, but yeah, um, it's for this lower support. That's this one right here. This is where the pedal goes on. It tells you, see right here, screw 8, 16 by 2. So that's this one. Okay, because you knew that because you looked up here and you found it on this. And then it says nut 8 by 2. But what it really is telling you is to use this spacer. And this is what it is. And you see right there, inside there, it is threaded. So you're going to put it in here and then hold it with the back of your finger, push it up until it lines up with where you want this bar, and then you you put the nut in there, or the screw, and this little indentation here hits up against this part, so it can't really go any further. The only adjustment that you'll have to make is, I would suggest not to crank this down too hard, because again, that's where the pedal goes, and you may want to adjust that um, after you sit down at it and see where your feet are going to be. But all you have to do is reach under there with your 14 millimeter wrench, loosen it up a little bit, slide it, tighten it back down. Well, there you go. It literally took longer to drag the box in here, open it up, and unwrap the parts and lay them out than it did to put this together. Um, it it was about 15 minutes just working at a nice leisurely pace. Uh, there's the top of the table, and it does have this little tray here for your bobbins and whatnots, and the thread rod goes there, and kickstand and some wires, and the machine goes right there. The only casualty from the shipping was this corner right here, which I'm really surprised because they had these covers on each corner. So that could have happened before it shipped out. But it's a nice powder coated finish. I'm really pleased with it. Um, these little bottom pieces are very loose. Um, and these feet, you don't even have to put those on, they're already put on. But these little rubber feet things are very loose. So I'm going to get some glue or some double-sided tape or something, take care of that. And then this will be more positioned, more like that, once I put the bar on there. The only thing in the instructions, this says 19 centimeters on this long side that's got the drawer. They say 19 centimeters from here to there, but it's actually 27 or about 27 and a half centimeters. Um, and it is 9 centimeters from the edge to this bracket, like it says on the sheet. And on here, it's 9 from here to here, and from here to here, it's 12. So just, you know, measure there, measure there. It would, I pre-drilled this whole little pilot hole, and then I put the screw in with my impact gun. If you don't have an impact gun and you just have a regular screwdriver, then you might have a hard time. But so that little change right there is the only difference. And the drawer, so it has a stop on here that keeps the drawer from going all the way in. But it doesn't have anything to keep it from coming out. So I think what I may do is I'll come here and put a screw right there, leave it hanging down about a 1/2 inch, and that should catch the back of the drawer and keep it from coming all the way out. And that's if I don't replace this with something else, some other kind of drawer that I might find. But anyway, I'm very impressed with this. It's extremely sturdy, and it goes together really, really nicely. And these feet are adjustable in case your floor is a little off. You can adjust these feet and get it level. But I'm real impressed with this. This has a measuring guide on here in inches and centimeters, so that's handy. And it's, it's full plywood of some kind or another. I really don't know what kind, but I really don't care, because the hinges go right there, and there's a little rubber stopper that'll go right there, and the sewing machine will be in this hole, and nobody will know. But this is a nice Formica top, and with this ruling gauge on here. Uh, but so don't let this scare you. It goes together really, really easy. Um, there's not any nuts. Um, all the nuts, all the nuts are already threaded in, and so I mean it goes together super easy. You will need a 14 millimeter and a 10 millimeter. The only 10 millimeter is for this bracket right here that goes to the throttle rod. Everything else is 14 millimeter. And if you don't have a 14 millimeter, you can also use a number 3 Phillips. Um, all of them have a Phillips head, even these. So anyway, so that's the table, and I guess next we will open up that box and get the machine out. Well, sorry about this. In my haste to put this all together, I kept on saying, "Oh, what if I put this part on? Well, why don't I go ahead and put this on?" Before I knew it, I had this thing all put together, and so let me just show you a couple of things. So you're going to have 4 little rubber stoppers. You'll see where they go. Um, the oil pan underneath this slips into a little slot, and then you guide these into the holes. And on the back, you see you got this shape right here. And I found it when I was putting the other machine together. It's a lot helpful if you put the rubber piece in first on both sides. Those are your part of your hinges. And then this piece has a metal rod that goes in the base about this far, right in the center. And it helps if you've got this up on the table and you put this into that slot, and then you lower this down into that gap. That makes things a little helpful. This is your kickstand. Don't forget to put that in. Um, my hole was a little bit too small, so I had to put a rasp on my drill and like make that a little bit bigger so that would go in. this hole is where your power cables come up. I'm going to go to Lowe's because you can get these little things on the aisle that they sell nuts and bolts on. They've got those drawers, and you can buy this little furniture piece that's black and will fill this in, but still let you have your power cords coming through. Um, when you first turn it on, I had an error 5. And I grabbed the book and looked to see what that was. The plug, this plug right here that comes from your controller, um, it's not made so it can only go in one way. You can turn it around and you can plug it in pretty much any way that you want. And I had to pull this back out and turn it around and push it back in until I could get rid of that error code. Um, but I mean, that's nothing. It does come with 3 bobbins. These are pretty basic. I ordered a while back. I ordered these, and you see how this one has that little hole right there. That's really helpful to put your thread in when you put it on the bobbin winder, so that you can hold the thread. Um, these don't have that hole, and you got to wrap it around. You got to hold it, and it slips. I just really don't like those. So I'll put a link in the description where I got these. They're 21 millimeter by 9 millimeter. So they're 21 millimeters this way, 9 millimeters this way. It's a style L, L for Lima. And that's the size bobbin that this machine uses. Pretty much the same as the Juki's, any of the 87, 8500 series, 8700 series, 8200 series, anything like that. But I'll put a link in the description. Guys, you got to excuse my hands. Uh, During the day, I'm a welder, and uh, I sew at night. So I do have hands that are oftentimes dirty and burned, banged up, bruised, whatever. But I just want to explain that to you. But let me go over a couple other little things. You are gonna get a little precision oiler in the kit, and you're also going to get a set of 3 screwdrivers, and you're going to get your first quart of oil. The oil, you tilt this back. Ugh. Oh, this thing's heavy. So the oil goes in here, and this is your oil pump, and you'll see a string over here. Don't cut that off. That is an oil wick, and it drops down into the oil. And if you see, it goes inside this tube, and one of them comes out here on the front, right there. Keeps everything oiled, but it's an oil wick, and oil comes up to that, goes down the thing, and lubricates it where it needs to be. And don't forget to put this little piece in. You'll see this in the kit. This piece goes to your knee lifter. See, you got to have that. And if you ever want to drain the oil, that's a Phillips head screw. Make sure you put a bucket underneath and just undo that, and it'll start draining through. Another casualty of shipping is I saw this in the bottom of the box, and I was like, oh, what is this? And sure enough, it had a hole in my oil pan. Luckily, this side, if you can see here, it slings a little bit of oil around the bobbin and the other little parts up here. If that comes to be an issue, um, I will probably just take this piece and figure out how it goes in, about like that, something like that. But I'll either JB weld it in, or maybe put a piece of duct tape underneath, and then I'll just lay a sponge on here. Luckily, this broke on this piece and not inside here where the oil is. When you fill up your oil, see you've got a high and low mark. Fill it up until it does that. What I did was I filled it up pretty high, and then I just started running it so the oil pump would pick it up, send it all through the machine, and then I checked the level again, and it just kind of topped it off. But the other oh, well, I've got it tilted up. This is the light that's underneath, and this little button right here, that is one, it's a half stitch at a time. I'm going to show you what that's for here in a second. That's pretty cool. But let me tilt this back down. Oh, that thing's heavy. Anyway, that's the machine, and so the box was ripped on one end and taped back up, and the styrofoam on the inside was all over this machine, and there was a bag in the box, and somehow the bag came off the machine, so the underneath was full of these little styrofoam pellets. If yours is like that, you want to make sure that you get all that styrofoam out so that it's not traveling all through your machine, getting all jammed up in there and everything. I took it out into my shop and used my air compressor to blow it out. But another casualty was this take up lever guard was bent, and I'm not going to worry about contacting Vevor about it. It doesn't stop it from operating, but I did get on Amazon last night and I ordered one of these. Actually, I ordered a 2-pack of them for a Juki 8700, DDL 8700. I got 2 of them for less than $10. So they'll be here in a couple of days. The other thing is this broke, and that is this little knob right here. This is the tension, the spring adjuster for the presser foot rod, for this rod. So it adjusts how much pressure this foot is applying down on your fabric. Luckily, it's set pretty good, but I got on Amazon last night and I ordered some of those. All I got to do is take this cover off, reinstall the new one, put this cover back on, and I'm rocking and rolling. But so these machines, they're only about $500. And if you get on vevor.com and you register, you can get it for $382. And if you don't mind doing a little work on your own, you're going to have a great machine at a great price. If you're not comfortable with doing all that work and you want to spend 3 times as much, go ahead and order a Juki, or one of those new techs from Gold Star. They're fine machines, but there's nothing wrong with this if you are handy with tools and you don't mind doing a little bit of work. So let me turn this on. And you may have heard that when you turn it on, the first thing it does is it raises the needle up, which is pretty cool. So let me go over a couple of things that I've found on here, and tell you what's up with that. Okay, so when you first turn it on, this is what your screen's going to look like. You have a P and an S, up and down arrows, this button, which I'm going to tell you what that is, and this button. Now, I don't know if the camera is picking up the LED, but there's this thing going around in circles and it's going this way. And it's telling you that it is in forward stitch mode. You can go in here to your parameters and you can change it to be reverse stitch mode for whatever reason. But so you can adjust that. This P and the S is what you use to go into your parameters, and your parameters are listed in the book that comes with this machine. Um, this this sewing machine was listed as being 5,000 stitches per minute, but the highest it'll go is 3,700. I don't know if that's some kind of parameter that needs to be set and adjusted, but I can't get it to go to 5,000 right now. But 3,700 is pretty darn fast. And it will, if you want to go slow, which I like to go slow because especially like when I'm making wallets, I like to be at 200. 200 is, yeah, it's slow, but it's manageable because I'm making little projects. And it has this button right here. You can turn it on and you can turn it off. What this does, this is a slow start. So when you first hit the pedal, it'll start off slow and then it'll ramp up to your fast speed. That's really handy if you're going to plan to reverse stitch. It goes about 2 stitches and then it lets you hit that reverse before it kicks into the high speed. This button is, you can tell it to, when you stop sewing, if you want the needle to be up or if you want it to be down. Um, Having the needle down into your work is really handy if you do a lot of rotating, because all you have to do is stop sewing. The needle is in the fabric. You hit your knee lever to lift the foot, and then you can move your project, let it back down, and keep on going. So right now I've got it set to be down, um, but you can set it to be up if you're just going to make a bunch of straight stitches and yank it out. You don't want to have to worry about whether it's up or down. Okay, so a minute ago, I was showing you on the display about the needle up or the needle down feature function. I'm just going to hit this pedal just a little bit and show you. See, every time I stop, that needle's going to be buried down in the fabric. And you can rotate this around and you can drop it down. Now, this button right here seems to only work when you have the needle down function turned on. So you can hit this button one time and it pops up. Hit it down, hit it again, it's back down. Hit it again, hit it again. So you're doing like a half a stitch at a time. That's really, really handy if, let's say that you're trying to sew some Velcro onto a 1-inch webbing. You don't want to go too far and go off the edge. So you can just go one stitch at a time, and then the needle is down into the fabric, lift it up, turn it around, drop it down, keep on going. Then you can stop and you can see again the needle is in the down position. You can raise up your foot, turn this around, and just go just a few stitches at a time. And I can't tell you how handy that's going to be. Um, and if you go up, you don't have to grab the hand wheel and turn it around to figure out um, where everything needs to be so that you can pull this out. It's already at the point where you can uh, pull your thread out. And see, that makes a nice little square. On my other machine behind me, when I get done stitching, I lift my foot and I can start to pull this out, and then I feel too much tension on the fabric, and so I have to grab the wheel and rock it back and forth while I pull this out to get the thread out. But this, I'm sure you've seen the automatic um, needle position sensors that you can add to these industrial machines as an add-on, and they work great. But this one's built in. It's built into the computer, so you don't have to get that extra kit for that. But let me trim up some of this thread, and I want to show you the speed that this thing goes. So what you saw a minute ago was the 200 stitches a minute. I'm just going to move that over there. And I'm going to change this dial. I'm going to take it all the way up to 3,700 stitches a minute. God, that's fast. My stitch length right now is set to 5. I'm going to bump that down to 3. 3 is what I normally do. 2.5 to 3. I don't do 5 too often. Maybe on some canvas. This is some canvas. It's just about a 1,000 denier canvas, but I'm going to slide that under there. I'm going to drop my foot, and I'm going to show you now. I do have the slow start turned on, so it's going to start off slow, and then it's going to kick it in. Holy moly, that's fast. I'm going to hit this again so it pops up. Lift my foot, pull it out, grab my scissors, cut that off. But you can tell that crooked one right there is the one I just did. So I'm going to put that in there and drop it down. I'm going to change my stitch speed back down to 200, which is where I normally like it. And again, this is 4 layers. It was doubled over and then doubled over again. So this is 4 layers. This is actually Sunbrella canvas. Let me go. This is 200 stitches per minute. My stitch length is 3. And I'm going to reverse, go back forward, reverse again. And so the needle's down, so I can hit this button, pop it up, lift up my foot, pull this out. I want to show you, sometimes on my other machine, on the industrial machine behind me, sometimes I have a problem with back stitching at the beginning of my of my stitch, and I can't quite get that figured out. But this one I want to show you. I'm going to start. I'm going to back stitch and just go right through. And even you know, halfway through, you can hit that back stitch lever again. Maybe you're going across a piece of webbing and you want to back stitch it to make sure that it's in there nice and tight. And I'm going to come right here to the edge. I'm going to back stitch and go through. And you see the needles down. I'm going to hit that button, pops it right back up. And there you go. This machine is really great. I really like it. So the pedal on here, man, that thing is super sensitive. And then there's this rod that'll be in your kit, and there's the knee lifter, and you've got one component there that you have to install. That's the controller, and if you see at the top of that, there's the yeah, right there. There's a little gray thing. I think uh, I'm gonna play around with that, but I think that is. I think that is how I can adjust the sensitivity of this pedal. Um, oh, another thing I didn't show you. Let me put a piece of fabric in here because this was really cool. So I'm going to put that down and I'm going to start stitching. See, it's going along nicely, and I stop and it's down. Now I can either hit this button or I can use my heel to push down on this. So I'm going to put my foot right there. Yeah, I'm wearing sandals. So I'm going to put my foot on there and watch this. All I have to do is push that pedal back down with my heel, and it pops up. It's the same as pushing this to make it pop up. Now, I can't advance this one stitch at a time like I can with this button. You know, because that's really cool. Having that ability. If you're trying to get like so straight to the edge of some webbing, when you're trying to put some when you're trying to put some Velcro on there, super handy. And see, this I'm just using the knee lift. I'm going to stop and it'll be down. I'm going to push on the back of the pedal. Pops back up. That is really cool. So that's the whole machine right there. I decided to move the Singer over there, and I moved that Chinese shoe patcher machine out. Um, I'm gonna keep that one because it is a really good machine, and it's got zigzag. And I don't have a serger, but you can use zigzag as a makeshift serger if you know if you need to. But I am really liking this machine. And there's the thread stand. And so on my next video, I'm going to talk about, oh, so I didn't even know this was finished. So I had a bobbin on here. I had one that I wound up and I went ahead and put inside, but I took a second bobbin and I put it up here, and you start it off and then you can flip this over and it will wind the bobbin while you sew, and when it's full, boom, it pops over and it quits winding, so that when you run out of this, all you have to do is take that bobbin out, grab this one, and it even has a built-in cutter right here. Grab that bobbin, pop it in, and you're going again. So my next video, I'm going to talk about how to thread this. This is the tension for the bobbin, and how to loop this all around and all that. So that'll be the topic of the next video. But so there it is, the Vevor M2. Some people call it the 5,000 because it's supposed to be 5,000 stitches a minute, but it's not. And you can turn off that light right there. Turn it off, turn it on. And of course, it also turns off when you turn the machine off. And it's got the power switch right back here. It even says off on it. Anyway, I'm loving this machine, and stay tuned for more videos about it. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe to my new channel. And if, again, if you're into welding and metal fabrication and metalworking and stuff like that, I invite you to go to my other YouTube channel. That's All Star Welding, and I'll list it right here on the screen. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. I respond to every single comment that you leave, every single one. And so if you got questions, you got comments, you see something I've done wrong, tell me. That's the purpose of YouTube. That's how we learn. YouTube is a community-driven learning tool, and if nobody speaks up, then we don't learn from each other. But thanks for watching, and have a great weekend.